In this video, we're going to focus on how we can create a nice stripe background on the chart area in ChartJS 4. So to do this, the first thing what we need to do is get a border template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. Once you're on here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want to get the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page. And of course, got a question, put it on Discord. All the links are in the description box. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to scroll down here. At first, we're going to create a custom plugin. So let's start to create a custom plugin here. Say comma, and then we say plugins. Then out of here we say ChartArea background. BG. All right, we'll copy this. Create a new constant. We're equal to that. ID will be equal to this, and of course we say here before we draw the data sets. And the reason why is we want to make sure that the text is, or that the background will be behind the bars. So chart, arcs, and plugin options. And then I'm going to say here constant, we do an object destructuring of the chart object. And it's basically this one here. So then what I'm going to say here, I want to have the CTX, because I want to draw on the canvas. I want to have the scales, and specifically the X and Y scale. Once we've got that, we can now start to look into the next part. So I say, first of all, ctx.save to save all the variables. And then I'll save that, refresh, nothing happens, but we can now start to work. So what do I need to know? I need to know a few things. Number one, I need to know how many ticks we have, because I want to have one side with a color background, and then the other one will be white or no color at all. And then again, we have like a interval or a loop that the next one would be. So every second next tick would be colored. So to do that, I need to make sure we have understanding of how many ticks there are, how many colors we need to give, or how many ticks we need to color, and how thick the color is. So to do this, we need to get here all these ticks first. So we see here 18 values, or the values up to 18, but the ticks is divided by 2, or probably that should be 9 ticks. So to do that, I'm going to say here constant, or let's do console log first, to give you access to the Y scale. This is the reason why we have this Y here. Save, refresh, open up developer tab. Did I save it? No. Console log Y. Oh, hold on, what's going on here? BG chart area. Save that. Alright. And the reason it doesn't work is because I was talking about before data sets. No, it should be before data sets draw. My bad. Capital D, save, refresh. There we are. So now we've got all of the information. And we can see here all the information we need from our item here. Or from basically all the information from the Y scale, including the ticks with all the values. And let's see what we need. But what I need to do is I need to measure a few things. First of all, let's get the ticks length. You can see here we have an array of 10. So we get the length of 10. Let's grab that right away. I'm going to say here dot ticks dot length. If I save that, refresh, there we are. That's number one. I'm going to keep that in there. Say here constant tick length equals this. So the next thing what I would like to do here is to calculate the thickness of this. And to do that, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to say here Y. Let's save that. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab 2 of these ticks here. I'll get the value of it, and I will divide or deduct them from each other. And I guess what we need to do now is instead of getting a single one, I need to get here 2. Because I will have one colored, one transparent, one colored, transparent. So we need to have the thickness of this here in pixels eventually. So this is very important, but I need to get here first the value of that. Well, basically we need both. I realize we need not only one like a double, but we also need a single. Let's get the single segment in pixels first. So what I'm going to say here, constant, and then we're going to say here, segment in pixel will be equal to what exactly? We're going to get the Y dot, and then we're going to use a function built in, get pixel for the value. And the value of the tick will be what exactly? Remember we have the length here. So we can say here Y dot ticks. And then we say here index, I guess we can say index 0 dot value. And the reason why I'm getting this is the highest value because this is the lowest one in the canvas. So that's probably like 300 or 400 pixels. Max height 300 to, so you can assume that one. So this is the lowest one, while up here is 0. So if you get the next tick here and divide those two or deduct those two differences, we have a leftover and that will be our segment. So we have this one, then we're going to say minus 1. And let's see now what we get. Console log, segment pixel. Save, refresh. There we are. Most likely it is 32. Well, I'm certain about it. It will be 32 plus pixels. So now we have the first one, so we know the thickness of it or how high it needs to be. The next thing what I want to do is I need to every time reposition this, so we have to move that up. But maybe let's draw something first. So we have something, and from there on we can make the array and all the structure. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw now. So I say ctx.fill rectangle. And before we even do a fill rectangle, I would like to have a color. So say fill style for our rectangle. And let's make this very straightforward. So sorry about that. Make it not black because I need to have a transparent color. So let's get this very light color black. Make it gray almost, but make it more lighter. Once we did this, here now we have the fill rect. Say we need an x value, the y value, then the width and the height. So far we do have the height already. We'll put one in here. That will be the height. Then the x value, we will get that. We will just start at the very left side of the x scale. That's basically this point here. And then we will cover like that. So we're going to say x dot left. For the width, we're going to say here x dot width, because it will calculate what is the exact width of this. So we can just assume that one here. These values are available if you do console log x. For the y, this is a more tricky part because here we need to put in this logic around there. So for now, what I will do here for this, I'll just say here x get pixel for value, and then we can just put in here the value 18 for now. Let's save that, refresh. Oh, x get pixel. Make sure you have it G capitalized, sorry, y. It should be y pixel for value. Hold on, let me check. And of course, sorry, it should be like this. Y dot get pixel for value. Alright, my apologies. So you can see here this works. First one. And but of course what we need to do is we need to loop through this. So what I'm going to create now is a array that has what we call a double segment. So basically we start here, then there, etc, etc. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to create a new array. Say here let array equals, or tick array, whatever you want to call that. I'll just keep it like this. Maybe tick array is more descriptive. Tick array. And then what I want to do here is I want to get a double segment, and the double segment is like the interval +4 +4 +4. I guess we can already calculate that. We say constant double segment, and that will be the position here. But for this, I need to just get the tick item. So I say tick dot over y dot ticks, and we get the value of 2 dot value, because what I need is the exact value difference here. That is 4. 4, 4, 4, 4. That's the one. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say deduct that minus the 0, or the starting one. So basically I'm just going to get this value and that value, and the difference we will calculate from that. So that will be a value of 4. This is very important for us. So now what we can do here is a for each loop, or a for loop. We're going to iterate to that. So say let I equals 0, and then what I'm going to do here is the I will loop through this I depending on what exactly I want to get the highest value here. This value here, whatever this value is, it will calculate. So we say here y dot max. So that's number 1. We know that one. Then what I want to do is I want to say the I, whatever the I is, we'll say plus equal and then double segment. So we're going to increase it by 4 every time, or iterate it by 4, or increment it by 4. Sorry, that's the right term. We increment it by a value of 4 instead of 1. So once we did this, then what I can do here, we can start to say I if not equal to max, to y.max, then we want to push the value into our array. So as long as we didn't hit the very max, we start to push that value in there. So we say here, tick array.max, tick array.push. Once we push that, say I, and then there we are. So let's save this, refresh. Alright, what I would like to do now is, once we've got this, we can start to create a new, or we can start to use some items here. Hold on, let me just show you the array, the tick array. Then we can start to put it probably in there. Let's save that, refresh. As you can see here, 0, 4, you can see here the iteration works very well. So now what I want to do is just put that in here. Or, well, not like that. We're going to do a for each loop. So we say here, tick array dot for each loop. Then we say here, the data or data point, or tick point, maybe that's the right term, tick point, and the index, although I don't think we need any index, but who knows, just put it in there. We're going to cut out this item, put it in there, proper indentation, there we are. Then we save this, let's see if we get something. Alright, we are almost getting there because we need to put this here, save, refresh. As you can see here, it works, but somehow it goes down. So what we can do is we can do the reverse option by making that, instead of a segment pixel of positive, we're going to make it negative. And if it's negative, it will point up, because once we go up is 0 and down is a higher value. So if we do it like that, save that, refresh, we have the opposite direction, and there we are. So let's do a test. Let's say here we have a new item. We'll say here the max value will be 40, save, there we are. Let's do a weird number, see if 41 will create something. Alright, interesting. So we get here a weird issue here, although 41 should not be a value, but maybe we have to figure out if we can filter that one out. I'll probably make a separate video for that, so we can just filter that out, because normally the step size would be in a rounded number like this.